There are, again, 5 major components to RISE, all right? We've got the tools that come with RISE to really help you move into RISE. These are 2 of the 3, at least, are more tailored towards um, uh, clients who are running ECC today, which sounds like it's a majority of you. So the readiness check you may be aware of, and what you may or may not be aware of is the custom code migration app. So I'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about a little bit about Learning Hub licenses that come with RISE. The Business Technology Platform, we'll talk about, just touch on what that is, and then talk about the cross-platform credits that you get with RISE. We'll talk about the starter package that comes with RISE, which is has 3 components that give you access to these collaboration networks around around your digital suppliers, your physical assets or machinery, and then your business logistics, transportation networks. I'll touch on business process intelligence services that come with RISE, and then we'll move into talking about the RISE licenses. So those are the 5 major components. As we move into it, again, starting with the tools, the readiness check you may be very well familiar with, and if you're not, what it does is it's going to evaluate your ECC environment and provide you technical guidance on moving to S4HANA. It'll help with identifying sizing requirements, software prerequisites. It does take a look at business processes and capabilities that could be impacted by going to S4HANA. It does take a look at the volume, your data volumes. It'll help get a start at looking at your custom code and what that impact may be. And last but not least, it's going to allow you to look at what Fiori apps may be best suited for you to adopt as you move to S4HANA. As you know, if you move to the private cloud, or may not know, as you move to the private cloud edition, you can still use your old T codes. You don't have to take all of the business transformation that comes with S4HANA. We'll talk about that later. I mentioned the custom code migration app that's used to really help reduce the custom code that you're bringing over. We want to get rid of any code that's not being used, and the migration app is going to help identify all that unused code to make sure we don't bring that across, and it'll help eliminate that waste during the conversion. You're also going to want to go through processes to make sure that any of that functionality isn't being replaced with new functionality in S4HANA. Last but not least in these tools is Learning Hub. And what you're getting with RISE is you're getting 5 seats of Learning Hub, which you can use for building custom learning journeys for either business users or your IT support staff. So it's a nice value add there to create this ability to have ongoing training as you go to, again, could be your business users, could be your IT staff as well. So that's the first section that we're talking about that comes with RISE. Next is the Business Technology Platform, right? This used to be the SAP Cloud Platform. It's been rebranded as the SAP Business Technology Platform, or BTP. So as you know, this is a huge platform as a service, which gives you everything from data services to analytics and analytics services, integration capabilities, as well as the ability to develop customizations using intelligent technologies, building Internet of Things or robotic process automation, just an entire platform for you to build and tailor your solution for. What comes with RISE is a credit. So that credit allows you to use any one of these tools within the BTP. So you've got that ultimate flexibility there. The way that credit is determined is if you are using RISE with public cloud, you'll have a minimum of 2,000 credits. If you're using RISE Private cloud, you'll have a minimum of 4,000 credits. That then can go up to as high as 16,000 on either platform. And it's computed based on the percent of your license value for either public or private cloud. And again, it's the idea is to give you a start, an entree into the business technology platform. Maybe you want to build a few RPA bots to see how RPA could really help your automate some of your processes. Or maybe you've got a few integrations that you've been using point to point, and you want to start using the BTP middleware to get better control over your integrations, that sort of thing. This is a great start into that. You can add to this, of course, and add to that your credits if you want to do that. But again, with RISE, it's at least giving you an entree into this business technology platform. Next is the Network Starter Pack. And what this pack is, if you kind of look at this graphic, in the middle is your company, right? And your company, you're running S4HANA. Outside of that is everyone else you integrate with, your suppliers, the people who maintain your equipment, your logistics services, distributors, that sort of thing. What the Network Starter Pack is again an appetizer, a top of taste, just a tiny little bit of these services which allow you to automate your business outside the four walls of your company. I said four walls, of course, and then I'm using a circle for the company, but hopefully you get my gist there. So let's talk about those one at a time. The first is the Ariba network. What this does is gives you electronic integration with your vendors. It's fully integrated with S4HANA. So the way it would work is you're going to create a purchase order in S4HANA. There'll be an automated email which will go out to your selected vendors, and they'll receive that email. They'll subscribe to the Ariba network. They'll have use of its tools and its mobility and everything else. It doesn't cost them anything. So it could help them automate their processes as well, or they'll just get the email and process the purchase order. But they can then reply back to that through the Ariba network, sending you a confirmation or a shipping confirmation, and ultimately sending you back an invoice. That invoice, the shipping confirmation, whatever, all that will be automatically, even though it'll come through in email, it will automatically be entered into S4HANA. So you've got a very smooth integration there, if you will, and you've automated that interaction with your vendors. Obviously, this will help improve your purchasing accuracy, your cycle times, and purchasing is one of those areas within ERP that does drive immediate value to the bottom line, helping you take advantage of discounts and so forth. This is, like I said, an entree. You get 2,000 documents a year with the Ariba network, meaning 2,000 purchase orders or 2,000, up to 2,000 invoices or combination therein. Many of the documents, things like confirmations, are included within the other documents. So it really only looks, I think, at the major documents in terms of coming up with what that limit is. And as I said, you can obviously add more documents. You can add more Ariba components if you want to go further into automating your procurement experience. So that's the Ariba network that comes with RISE. The Asset Intelligence Network, again, similar concept. You've got large equipment. This really isn't going to apply to everybody. It's going to apply to manufacturers or maybe energy companies who've got large equipment where you've got manufacturers or service providers and such, where you want to share things like specifications, work instructions, drawings, safety materials, product updates that happen, from time to time, and you'll have full access to integrating with those partners so that you minimize paperwork going back and forth or emails going back and forth. The idea here again is a limited introduction to it. You can have 200 devices that you put onto the network. With a limited number of connections, and then a limit of 10 partners that you can actually share information with. So again, it's just a small taste of what the Asset Intelligence Network can do for you. But the idea is maybe you've got some equipment that you want to try this out with. You see if it works for you, and then you can add more to it from there. So the next piece to address is the Logistics Business Network. And what I've got, if you look at the graphic on the bottom, you'll see this is actually only one of three major legs of the SAP Transportation Management. But the Logistics Business Network is going to cover order collaboration with suppliers. It's going to cover visibility of your supply chain outside your four walls, where are things in transit, and it's going to even cover dock appointment scheduling. So you can get very sophisticated in working with your logistics providers. What comes with RISE is only this order collaboration piece in that top left quadrant. All right, so what you're going to get with that, again, very similar to the Ariba integration, is out-of-the-box integration with S4HANA. It's automated and streamlined load pricing and contracting. So it's that front piece of integration with your logistics providers. You get access to the full carrier network. New carriers can be added if your carriers aren't on there. And again, you've got that limitation based on the number of documents and the number of service providers you want to connect with. And yet, again, you can add more. The idea, let me give it a try, see how this works, and does it really improve my business processes? SAP is obviously, they believe in their product and they're betting that it will. So moving from that to the business process intelligence piece, for those of you on ECC who know this is going to be very similar to the business scenario recommendation report. SAP is starting there, but they're creating a RISE only version, and then they'll continue to update this. So this is how things stand today. This could change in the very near future, but the idea is, go in, look at your ECC environment, and identify, looking at the data there, key metrics about your business. And then based on those metrics and looking at the improvements that come with S4HANA, tailor recommendations for you on where you might want to implement business transformation with S4HANA as opposed to just doing an upgrade. And that will help you scope your upgrade ultimately. Last but not least, as I said, I get to the license. The license, the S4HANA licensing that comes with RISE is the same licensing that you could get outside of RISE. Okay, what you'll need to work with your SAP rep or your reseller, whoever, to understand maybe what the difference is, if there is a difference, if there's not a difference in price, getting those BTP credits, getting the access to some of those extended networks, the Learning Hub licensing. Those are some very nice value adds that if you're not paying any more for it, are really going to suggest moving to RISE. And again, from a ERP perspective, it's either going to be S4HANA Cloud, which is, for SAP's, confusing things a little bit again with some rebranding. You might have known S4HANA Cloud as Essentials Edition last year. Prior to that, it was multi-tenant, I think. Prior to that, I think it was public cloud. Prior to that, it was just cloud, right? So, but this is the pre-configured version specific to a few industries. Those industries are going to grow over time as SAP continues to add functionality. But the idea is this is for companies who want standardized back-end processes on SAP best practices. They don't have a lot of IMG customization needs, configuration needs, and they don't have any customizations to the code. Also, you will be taking continual innovations with regular upgrades every quarter. What's new is the S4HANA Cloud Private Cloud Edition, PCE. This is similar to the extended edition that was out previously, but I think a lot better for a lot of different reasons. Similar in that it is the full scope of S4HANA. You configure at the IMG level, so you've got the full scale of S4HANA available to you, supports broader industry solutions, extensive complex operations. And what's new with PCE is you can customize the code where need be, or for those of you on ECC today, you can bring those customizations with you. So that's probably the biggest change. You do have your choice of your hyperscaler for hosting, whether that be Google or Azure or Amazon. That was similar with EX as well. But what's also different now from EX is while you're entitled to one upgrade a year, if you want to, which is, I would argue a best practice to stay current, you do not have to take any upgrade for up to 5 years. There is a minimum that you have to upgrade every 5 years. So those are the licenses that come with RISE as well. So hopefully I've answered that question at this point. And if not, just let us know. Who is RISE right for? It's right for anyone who wants to move to cloud ERP and to a subscription-based licensing model. I am not a financial expert, and I did not sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. So what I will say is I do believe there are ways to capitalize SaaS-based licensing models. That would be something you'd want to take up with your accounting department if you've got concerns there on cloud versus on-premise. But with Cloud ERP, it will be subscription-based licensing, so you're going to want to be desiring to move to that. Also, if you've got this desire to optimize your processes outside the company's four walls. Again, we talked about procurement probably being one of the strongest business cases, more ubiquitous across any type of company, but the asset intelligence and logistics network may also provide value there. If you're interested in customizing your experience, adding RPA or other intelligent processes, building unique data solutions, or again, integrating with third-party solutions via middleware, that sort of thing, again, there's going to be that extra value there that you're going to want to take advantage of with RISE. And last but not least, RISE is going to really help build in a continuous improvement culture.